Hello, this is Ernest from theartofbeinghuman.com with some input on doing the work of Byron Katie. One of the topics that are sometimes up for discussion is the matter of doing the work with a motive. Byron Katie has said several times in her books and when you listen to her that you shouldn't do the work with a motive. And this causes some debate sometimes because what does that really mean and is that even possible? And obviously, in most cases, it makes sense to say that you're always doing the work with a motive. You have decided to carve out some time, sit down and work something, and there is a general goal with that of finding peace or calming yourself down or removing something that's stressful for you. So in that sense, of course, there's always a motive when you do the work. It's rare, it happens, I've experienced it, that you're simply doing the work for the fun of it. But in many cases, there's something specific you want to work, and there's some specific sense, emotional state that you want to get to or get out of, and that's your motive. But there's a huge difference between this general motive of just finding peace or removing something that's stressful for you, and then doing the work with a specific motive of reaching some specific goal. And to my mind, that's what's meant by not doing the work with a motive. Because if you're doing the work with a specific motive of achieving some specific outcome, obviously you're not going into the work process with an open mind. You can go in with an open mind when your general goal is to find peace. But if you have a specific goal in mind, then you will be directing what's happening in towards that specific goal. So for instance, you could be doing a work session on your children, Eric and Sophia, and your story, your belief is that Eric shouldn't hit Sophia. Now, in that, you may experience that you're having some very strong motives around wanting your children to love each other, wanting for you to be able to handle this situation without getting really angry with Eric and yelling at him and getting frustrated with him. And so all of these things are getting in and put on top of this investigation into the thought Eric shouldn't hit Sophia. Now, what I've found to work in those situations when you realize there is a strong motive here is to direct your attention towards the motive and look at what's actually going on also in this situation, or even underneath wanting to work this piece. So it could be a strong motive to be able to love Eric the way he is, or it could be a strong motive to be a kind parent. And so instead of then working directly on the Eric and Sophia issue, you can work on, I need to love Eric, or I need to be a good parent. I must be a particular type of parent. And then do a worksheet on that, or even just a couple of individual one-liners where you clarify, is that really true that you need to love your son Eric? And as you get freedom from that belief, and potentially the belief of having to be a particular kind of parent, when that lets go, you're able to then return to the original thing you're working on. I want Eric to stop hitting Sophia, and you're able to work that with a more open mind because you're not caught up or craving a particular outcome to suit some other belief that was actually at work in you while you were doing this piece. So I hope that makes sense. Doing the work with a motive, yeah, sure, there's always some kind of motive. That's not a problem. The problem is if you have a specific motive of getting a specific outcome of a specific piece of work you're doing. And the solution that I've found to work is to then direct your attention first at your motives and what it is that's going on, and do some work on that. And then it may or may not be relevant afterwards to then return to the original piece you were working and then do the work on that. Something to consider, something to experiment with, and my take on an answer to the question, what does it mean not to do the work with a motive, and is that even possible? Check it out, play with it as always, see where it takes you. If you have any questions around it or around anything else, reach out, send me an email, or find me on my website, www.theartofbeinghuman.com. Thank you.